My name is Nicki Richmond. I grew up in Mount Calvary. I live now in Madison, and I'm here with my friends.
Laura Schneider. I grew up in St. Cloud and now reside in Mount Calvary.
Came to the bright side of things. And I'm Sherry Wolff. I grew up in Mount Calvary. Maiden name is Schaefer.
I do remember when we met each other. Sherry was one of the popular girls that went to Holstein, but I went to CPS, so we didn't know each other really well. When I transferred to Holstein, that's when we became better friends and got to know each other better. However, our dads were always friends, so we knew each other that way.
Oh.
Yes, our dads bowled together, so we knew each other a little bit before she came to school, but I think it wasn't until you came to the public school that we started doing our big bowling events with the hanger ball and all that good stuff.
Yes, I thought Sherry was a good person for me to get connected with, and I even knew that at such a young age.
Well, my mom thought Sherry was a really bad influence when I started hanging out with her. Because she went to Holstein, to the public school.
That's interesting.
And it took a while for her to come around to the fact that if anybody was a bad influence in that friendship, it was me. For sure.
Yeah, I remember being really offended by that when you told me that your mom, because I thought
it's ridiculous.
There's just no way that I'm the bad influence in this relationship. But then I thought maybe that's cool. I actually thought of that that conversation recently because my son is in kindergarten. I said to him, "Who are you hanging around with?" Because he was kind of getting sassy. I said, "Who are you hanging around with?" Because that's giving you those sassy words. And I thought to myself, I wonder if Nicki told her mom that I was the one giving her the sassy words. One thing we all of us have in common is all of our dads all worked at Mercury Marine.
That's true.
Yes.
And probably several other, people from the Holy Land. That's
many
that share our unique
characteristics
of the Mercury Dad syndrome.
It's a strange sense of humor that they have that's dry and hilarious. My dad was a songwriter. I can give you an example.
I would love to hear it.
He's really proud of being a dad. So he would often sing a song called Dad. It went, "Dad, Dad, Dad. He's our dad. He's the best dad you'll ever have."
If I recall correctly, he was also a big fan of the sing-along to his songs, always encouraging everyone to join in.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted him to catch on.
So, you guys are real artists, and I think we should talk a little bit about your creative endeavors.
Our production company as children was, what was it, Bumshafe?
I don't know.
We made videos. Not the kind of videos you're thinking of.
Interviews. Yeah.
With celebrities.
A lot of celebrities. Michael Jackson.
Dance routines.
Oh.
It was a variety show, really.
So if anybody is interested in an exercise video, I'm thinking about launching it. $9.99 or 3 easy payments of $333.
What year do you think that those? What years do you think those films were?
I think we were either in
91.
Somewhere going into 7th grade or 7th grade. Pretty sure because we were going to basketball games in St. Cloud. So that new
Civic Center
was open at the time.
Okay. So why do you think that neither one of you guys went into show business?
I think we really tried to keep it under wraps. We really didn't show a lot of people because not only did we make the videos, but we then did some computer work with some graphic design, which really launched Laura into her career of photography. I think that was probably incremental in the development of Laura's business today.
Yeah.
It was, the funniest part was how creative we were, and we didn't even know we were being creative at all.
So now, I mean, I think also what is funny to me about it is I'm not sure that it would occur to kids these days to do something like that. Because we didn't have video games. I mean, we had video games, but, you know, it was like...
What we had at home, there was a few things I do recall my mom never getting me. Things that I asked Santa every single year for. One was a beanbag chair, and the second one was a Nintendo. She goes, I don't know how long you're going to ask me, but you're not going to get one.
You never got a Nintendo?
Never. Nope. We had the Commodore 64.
Well, I had Nintendo, but I didn't have a video camera, and you guys had a video camera.
Right, because they were pretty new then.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, they had been around for a little while, but it was new for us.
Can you believe your mom let us play with that? I'm sure she wasn't happy, which is why it was just that one day that we did it while she was not
At
home.
least.
Like when my kids touch any of my stuff, I get like mad.
Right.
Put it down.
Well, they're
it's
gonna
not
break
yours.
it.
Yeah, they're gonna totally break it, and it costs X amount of dollars. But I would imagine a video camera in the early 90s was pretty darn expensive.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about being kids.
It was fun. I left in the morning, and I went to Nicole Petrie's house, and then we went to Stacy Schraggy's house, and we go to your house, we go to see Lisa Peterson. We just would be all around town all day long. We just rode our bikes everywhere. And my parents didn't know where I was at all, and that was fine. They knew that I was here. They knew you can't really get out of town. Why would you do that? Why would I want to go to St. Cloud? There was no reason to.
But you could go there to go to Sipple's Market. However, you had Weber's Market right here in Mount Calvary.
Right.
Yes.
We
See,
had
I mean,
all
you had everything you
cigarettes
needed.
we wanted there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Bittner's Bar. That's where you get the real cigarettes when you're underage. At a steamingly high price.
Man.
Well, I think she charged like $5, which was insane at the time.
We didn't care.
No. She even checked our IDs. She checked our ID.
she would check our IDs, and we would show her our IDs. Like, so we were 16 years old, and she would, here you go. And then remember when we would have to like go out back because she would be gardening, like in the middle of the day. We would have to go out back, and what was her name? Like Ruth, can we buy some cigarettes? So she would, okay, open the store.
25 minutes later, she was back behind the bar.
It's interesting that none of us smoke anymore. Or hardly ever did. So do you wonder what it will be like for our children? Do you think that some of the Holy Land traditions, should I say, would be instilled into our children because it's where we're originally from?
I hope so. I mean, I think about that because now that my son's getting a little older, I think about that consciously. How am I think about how my parents raised me and the things that, the not giving everything, say no, I want to be able to say yes all the time, but I recently have started to just say no, because I don't want them to think they're just going to have everything handed to them. Mm-hmm. That's not how it happens in real life.
And what I also think is interesting is, and this is not maybe just how the household that I grew up in, but you really did everything yourself. As far as now, there's a lot of people that can't do things around the house, like they have to hire somebody for every project, where we didn't have that. I feel like my dad did everything. Mm-hmm. As far as what needed to be done got done, and for both my mom and dad. Now my husband is the same way, so that's one characteristic that I want my son to take from that. Is if it's broken, fix.
And if there's something that he can't do, he knows a good friend who can do it.
Yes, mm-hmm. And that's how a lot of people are connected. If you don't know an installer for appliances, you might know a plumber, or you might know an electrician, or you probably do.
Yeah.
So you could build a house from the ground up with your friends.
Well, that's one of the things that I think is really unique about this area, because I don't know a lot of people that have friends like we are from from 4th grade. I mean, Nicki, just as long, if not longer.
6th grade,
yeah.
6th or 7th.
And still are friends. To think, it's the town really that brings you back together.
Yeah.
And it's and it's fun. And so I think when we were kids, I thought anyway, that we lived in the worst place ever. Now looking back, I feel like it was so much freedom. And I don't think I could give my kids that much freedom because I'd be too scared because it's not Mount Calvary, it's, Sheboygan, which is not like a big city, but it is not here. I mean, I would feel comfortable here letting my kids just run around, but I do not feel comfortable where I live. So it's interesting. So Laura, you living in Mount Calvary?
I never minded living in St. Cloud. I agree with Sherry when she mentions that there wasn't a lot to do. However, all we did was play outside, set up a camper, played in there, and really entertained ourselves very well. Back in those years, I never thought that as a 33-year-old, I would be residing in Mount Calvary. Like about 5.5 miles from St. Cloud.
It seems like that was so far away. Do you want to talk about why you decided to live here? I mean, was there ever a question?
I did not know where I would live after I was finished with college.
Yeah.
I lived in Milwaukee during that time, and I ended up...
And you and I were going to move to Colorado.
Yes.
Which equaled one 10-day trip there.
Which was great.
It was really great.
But what happened then was I met my now husband, and you never know what will happen from there.
So when you and Josh, Josh already owned this house when you
Correct.
started dating, so then there really wasn't much of a decision.
But with Josh's business being silica, he wasn't going to move.
Yeah.
So at least if you're in the Fond du Lac, if you have a business in the Fond du Lac area, living in the Holy Land only makes sense because we like it here.